I was lucky enough to go to a high school located right across from a diner, and they made a mean chocolate cream pie. Silky, smooth, lots of chocolate flavor. But it's pretty hard to replicate that at home until now. Julia is here, and she's going to show us a perfect chocolate cream pie from the crust up.
That's it. And before we get to the filling, let's talk about the crust, because I'm going to show you a new crust today. And that's a big deal from us.
It's a huge
deal. We
Yes.
made a lot of pie crust. We wanted it easy to roll out, we wanted it flaky, and we wanted it foolproof.
You want it all.
I do.
And you want it now.
And I'm not ashamed to say it. All right, starting with the most important ingredient in a pie crust, the butter. 10 tablespoons of unsalted butter. And again, we're just making a single crust pie. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this stick of butter and I'm just gonna make a mark on the 2 tablespoon mark, unwrap it.
Okay.
I'm gonna use the rest of the wrapping as a handle, and I'm gonna grate 2 tablespoons of the butter. Cold butter is pretty key here. We're gonna grate some of the butter, put it in the freezer, and fold it in towards the end so we get the flavor and the tenderness without making the crust too wimpy. There we go, right to the wrapper. That last little piece. Now I'm gonna put this in the freezer until we need it so it stays nice and cold.
Okay.
For the rest of this butter, it's gonna unwrap it and we're gonna cut it into 1/2-inch chunks. So I cut it lengthwise into quarters, and then you can just cut it crosswise into nice even 1/2-inch chunks. So again, that's 10 tablespoons total, 2 got grated, and 8 tablespoons are cut into chunks. Now it's time to go to the food processor, which is our favorite way of making pie dough.
Sure is.
This is something you've never seen before. It's not just one dough, it's 2 doughs mixed together. And when you think of it that way, this is gonna make total sense.
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna make the first dough, and I have some of the flour. Weighing the flour is pretty helpful here when you're making pie dough. So I'm gonna give you the weights. So this is 3/4 of a cup of flour, all-purpose flour. That weighs 3 3/4 ounces.
Okay.
To that, I'm gonna add a tablespoon of sugar, just a little sweetness. This is 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And I'm just gonna pulse these together, about 2 pulses. Now in goes the butter. And this is where things get pretty different from our previous pie doughs. Normally, we just pulse this in until they made small pea-sized pieces.
That's what I'm expecting.
For this dough, I'm just gonna let her rip for about 30 seconds. It's gonna make a solid piece of dough, and that's good. We're waterproofing the flour at this point. So all that flour will be coated with butter, and it won't absorb the moisture that we add later. So we're just gonna let this rip for about 30 seconds till it makes a nice solid dough. There we go.
Can I just say we've spent the last 10 years telling people not to do exactly what she just did.
I know.
Yeah.
It's rebellion right here. All right, so you can see this dough is totally unlike a pie dough. It's actually more like a cookie dough if you think about it.
It's kind of plastic.
This won't make gluten. This will be our very tender dough.
All right.
Oh, so I'm just gonna take this, I'm gonna break it up into little pieces around the blade. And on top of this dough, we're gonna make dough number 2.
Oh.
So here's the tender dough, and now we're gonna build a second dough on top of it that absorbs water to create structure. So here we have 1/2 cup of flour, and again in weights, this is 2 1/2 ounces. We're gonna sprinkle this over the top. All right, and we're just gonna pulse this in about 4 or 5 pulses, just until it's incorporated. Okay, you can see that the flour has really incorporated into that what was a cookie dough, so it looks like crumbles again.
It sure does.
And that's perfect.
That's what we like to see in a pie dough.
Yes.
Yes.
Back to where we're comfortable, right? All right, so now we're gonna dump this into a bowl. Now we're gonna go into the freezer and get the frozen shredded butter. We're gonna add this, and you can see it's really nice and firm. And again, when we added just 2 more tablespoons of butter to that first dough, it made it much too mushy.
Really?
Yeah, but putting it in like this, it doesn't get in the way of the dough structure, and it actually adds to the flakiness.
That is some crazy stuff.
Last but not least, water. We're not gonna hold back on the water. We're gonna add enough water so this dough is really easy to roll out, because believe it or not, we've made it so tender, we can add an extra tablespoon or 2. We're gonna start with 2 tablespoons, and notice I'm using ice water. You wanna keep the dough as cold as possible, so you don't want that frozen butter to melt.
Right.
Just gonna stir that in. We gotta preserve those frozen flakes as much as we can. So that was 2 tablespoons. Now I'm gonna add another 2 tablespoons. All right, now this is gonna look familiar. Just pressing with the spatula to try to get it to form a nice dough. Oh, that's perfect.
And the outside of the bowl is nice and cold from that ice water, so.
Yep. All right, so I'm gonna do the rest of my forming on a nice piece of plastic wrap.
Okay.
Just gonna take this dough, plop it on this right in the center.
Looks very hydrated at this point.
It's gonna be such a dream to roll out. All right. What I like to do is just take the sides of the plastic wrap and my knuckles sort of through the plastic wrap and just gently shape it into a nice 5-inch round. You want to get rid of any of those fissures as best you can.
Little fault lines that will continue to grow when you go to roll it out, right?
That's it, that's right. And then I like to do this. Really get it nice and round. If you get it nice and round at this point, it's much easier to have it stay round as you roll it out later. Wrap it up. And you can see, oh, those nice big flakes of butter in there.
Yeah.
It's an interesting looking dough, and that's good. So into the fridge this goes for at least 2 hours before we roll it out. But you can make this up to 2 days ahead of time.
Okay.
All right, Bridget, I have something special for you here.
What happened?
Exactly. Kind of looks moldy. So what we did here is we put a little food coloring, blue food coloring, in the water to illustrate that there are 2 doughs. There's these big pockets of brown dough that didn't absorb any water.
Right.
That's that first dough we made that was waterproofed with all that butter. And then you can see this dough in between that is very blue. That's the second dough we made that we didn't waterproof, so it absorbed all that water and made gluten. So here's your tender bits of dough. All the blue dough is your structure dough. And when you mix them together like this, that's how you get flaky layers. So this is the key to perfect pie dough.
What looked so odd before now is beautiful to me.
Yeah, all right, so let's roll out our pie dough. It's been sitting out for about 10 minutes, so it's perfect to roll out. I'm just gonna use a well-floured counter. Usually when you roll out pie dough, you don't wanna add any extra flour because you don't wanna dry it out.
Exactly.
Not with this dough, so we're gonna roll it out into a 12-inch circle. You know, over the years, I have come across different ways to roll out a disc of dough like this, and I've landed on this one.
Okay.
I put my rolling pin down and I angle it on one side and I just roll out one side at a time. A little turn, roll it out. Little turn, roll it out.
I do something very similar.
Do you?
Yeah, everybody has a different style. My whole thing is that if you get it to a circle, bless you, doesn't matter how you got there.
Exactly. Truth be told, we're gonna trim off the edges anyway. So even if it's an amoeba shape, it's fine.
Now what size are we looking for here?
We're looking for a 12-inch circle.
And even though you didn't dye that one blue, I can still see those little flakes of grated frozen butter in there.
I know, isn't that great? Looking like we're getting there. That looks perfect. Now for the hard part, getting the dough into the pie plate. We're gonna use a standard 9-inch pie plate. Just drape it back over the pie plate. Easy as pie. All right, so I'm just lifting the edge of the dough so the dough can fall down into the corner of the pie plate. You don't want to stretch it because that corner is a structural fault in a pie. You want it to be sturdy. All right, that looks pretty good. Now we're gonna trim the overhanging dough back to about 1/2 inch.
Okay.
Now we're just gonna fold the dough under on the edge. Folding the dough edge under just helps anchor it and gives that ridge just a slightly thicker edge so we can make a nice crimp and it'll hold. I'm just gonna use 2 fingers and a thumb. So if the dough gets it all sticky, don't hesitate to re-flour your fingers. There we go, looking good.
Beautiful.
Now this has to rest in the refrigerator for 30 minutes before we can bake it.
Okay.
All right, so our pie crust is chilled and ready to be par-baked because we need to bake it before we put the filling in. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna line it with foil and then we're gonna fill it with pie weights. Now this is a lot of pie weights.
Sure is.
This is about 1/4 of pie weights. And one thing we figured out over the years is the more pie weights, the better. Now they sell them in small containers that are about a pint. So this is about 2 containers of pie weights. Spread them out nice and evenly in the pie shell. And again, this will prevent those sides from slipping down the sides of the pie plate while we par-bake it. This is gonna go into a 350-degree oven for 30 to 40 minutes. But halfway through, I'm gonna take the pie weights out, I'm gonna spin it around. That way heat can really brown that bottom of the crust. So our pie crust is out and cooling. Now it's time to focus on the chocolate filling. Eggs we found really mitigated the flavor of the chocolate. We want a strong chocolate flavor. So we're gonna make a pudding style, but we're not gonna use any eggs. So it's not a custard, it's pudding.
Diner style.
That's it. So we're gonna start with some sugar. This is 1/3 cup of white sugar. Now we're gonna add our thickener, 1/4 cup of cornstarch. Now here's our first little hit of chocolate. This is 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder. Last but not least, just a little bit of salt. This is a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And before we add the heat, we're just gonna whisk this together. Make sure that cornstarch, which is the thickener, is nice and evenly distributed through the pot. All right, now we're gonna add the liquid. Now this is 3 cups of whole milk. Of course, we tested 2% milk. That worked pretty well. But when you started using 1% or skim milk, it was just too lean. So stay with the full or the 2%. The heat's not on yet. Just want to whisk that all in. Make sure there's no lumps of cornstarch. Get into the corners. Now we're gonna put it over medium heat. It's gonna take about 8 to 10 minutes for this really to come to a boil for that cornstarch to be activated. I'm gonna stand here and stir it a lot because we don't want it to clump. All right, Bridget, it's starting to boil around the outside of the pan. It's go time. So I'm just gonna make sure I whisk it constantly, and I'm gonna let it boil for a good 30 seconds. Make sure that all that cornstarch is activated before we remove it from the heat. All right, you can see bubbles across the whole surface of this pudding. That is a good sign. That is perfection. Turn off the heat, and that's just cocoa in there. Now's the time when we get to add the chocolate. This is 6 ounces of chopped bittersweet chocolate. And we're gonna add just a little butter, 3 tablespoons. Just whisking till all that butter and chocolate is melted. Doesn't take much time because this mixture is hot.
When it's chilled down, that butter's gonna re-solidify, help it set up.
All right, last but not least, I'm gonna add 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. You don't wanna cook the vanilla because you want those flavor compounds to stay in the mixture. All right, so we're ready to put this into our cooled pie shell. Oh, yes.
Gorgeous.
All right, so obviously we're gonna need to let this cool for a bit before we can eat it. We have to let that filling set up. And we found that if you just let it sit in the open air like this, the top dries out and forms kind of a rubbery skin. The answer to that is the pizza parchment paper. I greased it with some vegetable oil spray. That'll help prevent it from sticking. And I'm just gonna put this flush to the top of the pie. We're gonna let this cool on the counter for about an hour.
Okay.
And then we're gonna put it in the refrigerator and let it chill for about 2.5 hours till it's nice and firm. All right, it is time to top that pie with some whipped cream and get to eating it. Here I have a cup of heavy cream, and I'm just gonna add to it 1 tablespoon of confectioner sugar to make a whipped cream topping. I'm gonna start the whipped cream on low just for a minute, just to get things going. Then I'm gonna crank it to high for a minute or 2. We're looking for stiff peaks.
All right.
I always like to do the last few whisks by hand because I feel like there's always a puddle of cream in the bottle that never gets incorporated. Oh, that is perfect. Okay, now, I love this pie because it's messy on purpose, as are all cream pies. You just kind of put whipped topping right in the middle. You really do have to top this pie just before serving. This whipped cream doesn't last a long time. So I'm just gonna spread this whipped cream out to the edges. I'm not gonna cover up that gorgeous crust though. Oh, that's a beauty. This is a snack for later.
That's a snack for now.
This is for now. And the great thing is you have to eat it right away. Nice, sizable slice for you. Look how the filling really does set up.
Look at that pie crust.
I know, it's flaking already.
First bite.
Man, that's good. You know what? It's not too sweet. It's the perfect sweetness.
It is silky, it is smooth. It's not gritty at all, but it's almost like a flaky sugar cookie.
So good.
Thank you so much
My
for
pleasure.
bringing us this beautiful pie and beautiful crust. Well, this luxurious pie all starts with an all-butter crust. Process flour, sugar, and salt with cubed butter to make a paste. Break into chunks, then pulse in more flour. Toss in frozen butter and water and chill. Roll out trim and crimp, then bake with and without pie weights. For the filling, whisk milk into sugar, cornstarch, and cocoa and cook until thickened. Add chocolate and butter, pour into the pie shell and chill. Top with fluffy, silky whipped cream and enjoy. So from America's Test Kitchen to your kitchen, a blue ribbon winning, congratulations, chocolate cream pie. It's outrageous.
Thanks for watching America's Test Kitchen. What'd you think?
Well, leave a comment and let us know which recipes you're excited to make, or you can just say hello.
You can find links to today's recipes and reviews in the video description.
And don't forget to subscribe to our channel.
See you later.
I'll see you later.